Okay,
Sorry
let's
about
just
that.
thank you, mom. So let's just get started. Yeah, so yesterday I explained component here, and so I want to emphasize more on component variants. Yeah. So you see this plus here allows you to add more variants. And I told you that component can be used to change styles of maybe styles, layout, structure of a design and all that, and at the same time it can be used to replace or substitute one design with another one. So like I said,
Yes.
there is more to that. So another thing I want us to explore is component variant. So if you look at this component here, oh, let me just say this one. I can click on this plus to add more variants, and when I do that it adds more component for me. And if I click pressing this plus, it adds more of that for me. So now each of these variants, right, can they are having default names now. Sorry, control Z. So let's start again. So when I click on plus, something happens. It creates a property, and then it title it as variant 2 of component module 3. So module 3 is separate, but however, okay, module 3, initially module 3 was just for this. So when you make a
Yes.
component variant, like when you do a variant, so we then have more variations in module 3. Do you understand? So, but what I
Yes.
want to do first is let me see if I can make these two things a component, a component variant instead. Okay, yeah, they are component variants now. So it's similar to the way I was creating that plus 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 plus. So by selecting the two of them and then making a new component, automatically just make this one's variants. Alright, so let me go back to the way I was doing it before. To make a component variant is very very easy, and I'll tell you what their usefulness is for. First off, you need to have a component created. And secondly, you click on this plus to add a variant, and then you can give the variant a name. The first one is titled as default. The second one you can give it a name, although it is always giving names according to its numbers. So and then I can click on plus again, and then it gives that one variant 3. So now here is the thing. So I can change the design structure of this variant. So for example, this one is having this yellow or cream color. I can change the color to maybe something like let's say something like this, and then change the text to something like this. That's that about that for this. And then I can come down here and change this one as well to maybe something like so, or so, and then change the text to something like so. Yes, now I have three variants in one component. This is now known as component set. This is a component, but this is a component set. In a component set we have three variations. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
And the variant can increase as long as I keep pressing plus, but the variants are having different styles. So instead of making a component stand alone, I'll just make it a set, and there you have it. I have a component set. So component set, and this is component set, and this other one is just a component. Is not having
Why?
This is just a component. This one is just a component, but whereas these ones is a component set. So now if I take a duplicate of this thing out of that place, so I have an
Yeah.
instance. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
So
I'm
if I
sorry. My voice will be a bit low. I'm under the weather. I'm on
sorry, I
medication.
observe. I wanted to ask. I'm so sorry I didn't ask, but I wanted to ask because
It's
the way you
fine.
sounded initially. Sorry, please try to get
It's
some
fine.
medicine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I am.
All right. So now, yep. Sorry, please. So here is the thing. So I made a duplicate of this component, of this variant rather.
Okay.
This is a component set, so variants are in a component set. I made a duplicate of this variant here and I put it outside like this. So in this case, if I need to switch between the variants, between the variations, I don't need
Yeah.
to do it here. I don't need to do it here. I can still do it here, but then the best option is, the best option is, since this one is a set, right? If I want to change
Yes.
anything within the set, if I want to change this to anything within this set, all I just need to do
Yeah.
is to come down here and change it like this. So that means I'm changing the state. I'm not changing the instance. Instance is different. Variant is different. Variant is several components in a component set.
Okay.
But components standing alone, their instance is what you switch. However, you can I can switch the instance of this to a component set. So when I switch it to a component set, I can now switch from the set, from the variant to the wide variant I want to use, like so. Do you see that? Can you understand that?
Not really.
Okay. It will make sense now. Don't worry. It's because I'm using this kind of example. So what I'm pretty much saying is, let's say we have a button, and when you are
Yes.
designing for web, being a developer or a designer, when we are designing for the web, we always have buttons in different variations. So let me say this one is read more button. So this is the first state 1. I'll call this one state 1 or variant 1, but let me leave it as state 1. This is the first state that the users will see. Then from here they'll move to the next state, but sorry, I'll make this a component. Do you understand? Or maybe let me
Yes.
not make a component yet. Let me just create all the variants I want. This is state 2. So in this state 2 is when they over the stuff, and then they get this value. Now state 3 is sorry. State 3 is another design button, but as shadow. Don't worry, you won't see the shadow because I'm on black background. Or maybe let me just create a shadow of white background. So I'm going to turn this color to white. So it won't look like a shadow now, it will look like glow, like a glowing thing, like something is glowing.
Okay.
So let me adjust it carefully. Or maybe 0 0. Okay, that's balanced in the center. Then blur it, then reduce the spread. Exactly. Then change the color, then change the inner color as well. Alright, so now this is it. So this is state 3, this is state 2. So all of these are now components, one after the other. Component, component, component. Then selecting all of them, I'll make them components. So I'll make a component rather. Sorry, Ctrl Z. I don't even need to make them component first. I'll select all of them and then make a component. Exactly. Now I have sorry, that's not correct. Component rather. Component and then component and then component. So in this case, this is going to be called button state. So if my developer, or if we are using one of these in a project like this, and maybe in the future I've created these several buttons, maybe in the future, right, The owner of the project says that, oh, he doesn't want this kind of color for the button. He wants one of the brand colors, and one of the brand color happens to be this yellow or purple. So he said he wants us to use purple. All I'll just do is to switch from that variant to, I'm coming, I didn't make this. I'm actually doing it wrongly. That's not what I did initially. Oh, sorry, please pay attention.
Okay.
So let's say we have this component created. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I can create different states. I can create different variants. I can create different variants, and one of the variants might change color like so,
Okay.
and the other might have this color like this. Like they might just have different colors that changes. They might just have different colors that changes. So and in the long run, right? If I take one of these if I copy and make a duplicate of one of these, that has given me the privilege to have access to all these variants. With this one on alone, I can access all these variants, and all I just need to do is to start switching from one variant to another variant like this. Is to switch from one variant to another. So what I'm pretty much saying is, for some websites, right, the way their header, the way the header navigation displays in on one browser is quite different from the way it displays on another browser. Take for example Facebook website. The way it displays on Opera Mini is different from the way it displays on Google Chrome.
Okay.
Exactly. So now imagine if this was a header designed to be like this on Opera Mini, and designed to be
Okay.
like this in Google Chrome. All of these designs would be put into a set like this.
Okay.
They'll be put
Okay.
into a set. So whenever we are now designing for Opera Mini, when we take
So,
one of the instance, we'll just switch that design to the one we designed for Opera Mini. We'll just switch that
okay.
variant to the one which is supposed to be for Opera Mini.
Okay.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, but it's just a bit technical. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
I
understand.
understand, but okay. I'm coming. Let me see one of our past class that you know what I'm saying. All of them are in one
Yeah.
component set, so the only thing it takes me is just to switch between the buttons to the right one that they need. So some of these buttons
So
as
where
well,
do
my
they
yeah.
where do they go after use? Like, do you delete them or you just
Where did I what?
don't get? Where do they go as in the component sets?
No,
Where
this is
do they go after use? Do you delete them or you keep them somewhere
no
and
no
then
no.
they'll
I'm
still
coming. It's just
have
like
effect?
me getting something. I have a lot of I have a lot of what can I use? Oh, let's say I have a lot of phones, and for a particular
Yeah.
occasion, I want to take an Android phone. I'll leave the rest at home
Yes.
and then take the Android phone with me. For a particular occasion, maybe I need my camera more. I'll take Samsung XR or Samsung whatsoever. I'll leave the rest at home. So, but the case studies, all of them are in my house. So I just pick the one I want to use for a particular purpose that I want to use it for. So when
Okay.
I'm switching here, what is happening is that they are replacing each other. Hello.
Okay.
Exactly.
I answer.
That's the general idea of component set. Now, if you look at this now, because these ones are not component set, I have to be coming here every now and then to be switching color if I don't like this color. If I like the color, if I don't like it, I have to switch it manually.
Okay. Okay.
But imagine if they are in component set and I have multiples of these created and they are stored in a set. All I just need to
Okay.
do is to switch the component set and everything changes. Imagine if I have a set, the way I have all these things, right? And
Yes.
I make a let me copy and then paste them. So and then I'll move them outside, and then I'll begin to make a component of them one after the other. Component, component, and then component. But with this, they are not going to form a set. No, they will actually, because what I want to do to it is actually going to be in form of a set. So now, for the first thing is, I want to select all of them and then make all of them another component. So it purge out the parent component. So what I have inside here now are the instances of this one. These are the parents, but these are the instances. So now for this first instance, right, I want to have everything as all the whites, I want to have them as yellow as well. Ctrl Z, come in, let me select all this, all the whites, I want to have them as, all the blacks, I want to have them as this color one, and all the yellow, all the whites rather, all the yellow should remain yellow, and all the white should remain this. All right, so now in this case something is off, this is off, so I'll turn this back to what I want it to be, and then turn this back to what I want it to be. So I have a first set of all yellow, then purple icons. Then I have another set of, now this is my other set, this is my second set, this one at the bottom here. Then for this second set, second variant, this is its second variant. For this second set, I have the yellow as white. Now there's going to be another third set. I have the purple as the purple icons as let me use this one temporarily, then make this white this. Now look at what will happen if I need to. So I'm going to now create a duplicate. I'm going to make a duplicate of this. No, not duplicate of everything. Duplicate of one of the sets. I'm going to duplicate it. One. Let me move this to this side first. So now I'm going to use it to replace this one that I have here. Let me group all this one first. And then I'm going to paste that one inside there. Let me zoom in to see what I'm doing. And then let me align it. Then let me position them properly. And let me delete this one, or maybe close the eyes temporarily. So now with this in check, if I need to change this set anytime, all I just do is come down, I'll select the set I want to change, I'll come down to the component set. Oh, it's not titled, I don't need to title it as component 1. I'll call it product options, product options set, product option set. Yes, let me put it that way. And then I'll come down here. So in the product option set, you can see product option set. I can switch from one variant to another variant. I can switch from one variant to another variant. You can see that. Can you see that?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I can switch from one variant to another variant, and I don't need to be struggling anymore. All I just do is switch. All I just do is switch, and it gives me what I want. All I just do is switch, and it gives me what I want. I'll switch, and it gives me what I want. And that's that about that. And that makes sense for me. Do you understand? So that is that about that.
Yes.
So in this cart section, if I had made component sets, actually all of this, I don't need to have them as individual components separately. I'll just make a component set of it. and then I'll do the same thing. I'll do the same thing. That's just the way it is. And that makes sense. So now for this button, if I had made a now for this button, I can still use this one that says buy now. I can put it here. Sorry. I can move it to the side like this. And maybe close this one. And then center align it. Change the buy now text to checkout. And then maybe increase the size if I need to. So then the next thing is, if I need to switch from one part to another, I'll just come here. I'll do the same thing. It switches. It switches. I don't need to stress it. It switches. Do you understand? I don't need to stress much. I'll
Yes.
just switch whatever I want to switch, like so. And I feel that's too big actually. Let me just reduce it a bit. Let me zoom in so I can reduce it more. Exactly. And that's the beauty of component sets. It just give me the room to switch, and I think I even like the one with the white background, like so. Yes, I like this. I like this. Very simple. But it's just that the colors are too rhyming at the bottom. Let there be at least be something that
Yes.
odds that part. And for me, I like it so badly, and I have the icon already, so I don't need to start doing or creating another thing from scratch. With this component in the component set, with this variant in the component set, you can see the only thing I did was just scale it up a bit. I I took one of these out, and with that one that I took out, I can switch to whichever color that I want to use. That is the brown color. Now, even if I add another one to it like this, which is having this background, this dark background, you can see if I come down here and I switch that from 2 to 4, I still get the same result. That's it. It makes sense that way. Can you see the beauty of the component set?
Yes.
It's making sense. Yeah, that's the thing. So so it's your turn now to make your own component set. Sorry, please. I know you're not strong, but it's important to practice. Yeah. So